Update from the Halls of Academia. An original short story by Jared I. McGee. Speaking in cliches and buzzwords. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Don't you throw that baby out with the bathwater now. My, it's raining cats and dogs out. Am I right? Innovation. Flipping. Pedagogical. Backward by design. Scaffolding. Differentiation. Digital natives. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. After the onslaught of well-worn words, phrases, and thoughts, the balding art history teacher still could not let the guest speaker finish her presentation. Here, before us, is a PhD who's run some of the most respected programs in the field of education at some of the most respected universities in the world. But Art Man, as my colleagues and I began to lovingly refer to him, is so self-important and so self-aggrandizing that he cannot allow this woman to continue along the expertly crafted path of her advertised presentation. To her credit, she's making jokes, fielding inquiries, and sidestepping thorny barbs from Art Man, but he is still hijacking her time. Is this indicative of the education system? Its citizens? Or is this just Art Man in and of himself? I quickly realize that I've seen this scene play out far too many times for it to be a solitary incident or funky little quirk of Art Man's. This is a pandemic in academia. Why all this gotcha desire mid-presentation, be it now or at any meeting of the supposed minds across the world? Why can't a great many teachers just sit back and listen and learn? Isn't that precisely what they are asking of their students? The presenter says, "Everyone knows at least one thing that you do not. Always be open to others' ideas." Everyone nods their heads and writes this down or types it out, including me. Everyone save Art Man, who scoffs, rolls his eyes, and purses his lips. Maybe this hostility is out of a desire to get a metaphorical gold star. "I got to the conclusion before anyone else, even though it's been for decades, if not centuries on repeat. Still give me my props and love and accolades." Does he actually think he's impressing this woman? Lexicon, Luddites, inexorable, anti-disestablishmentarianism. For full disclosure's sake, anti-disestablishmentarianism is added for effect here. He said some other something that was equally out of context, though. He speaks louder, and louder, and louder. He crescendos until he is bordering on yelling. Everyone knows that volume demonstrates authority, after all. Especially library. All of the sudden, a whole nother level, people. These butcherings of actual words take away from Art Man's vocabulary and display. He doesn't seem to notice. The arrogance of we humans really is staggering. And that arrogance is compounded and amplified many times over with Art Man. With Art Man's colleague here from his same school. With my colleagues. Hell, with me. Educators seem to be the worst about this. No wonder the world thinks we're all smug assholes, not worth listening to. We, more often than not, are. We lecture and speak on problems as if we are the first ones to ever ponder them, when, in reality, this conversation, all of these conversations, have been had, and these thoughts have been thought to the point of cliché. Again, what arrogance. And again, we're back at clichés. Problems with no solutions? They're ubiquitous. Yet, Artman and his ilk attack them with relish, thinking they will be the ones to crack the millennia-old code to this Sphinx riddle for educators, or that one. For humans. For people who just plain don't suck, they'll solve all those unsolvable riddles indeed. We're 50 minutes into the presenter's 60, and Artman continues to hog the stage, lecturing in his own by now. I feel sick, and I get up to leave the room. The yogurt we had off the continental breakfast there at the event was pretty warm. But I have a feeling that my current nausea and forthcoming vomit have nothing to do with some strawberry Yoplait, and everything to do with Artman, the living, breathing, walking embodiment of much of what I loathe in the academic world. Thank you for listening to An Update from the Halls of Academia. The backing track for this piece was taken from the Free Music Archive. It is titled Sector Vector, from the album Future Shapes by Little Glass Men. It is being used under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. That does it for Prose this week. Please keep your eyes peeled for next week's episodes. Until then, read, think, and feel deeply, my friends. Farewell.